Dream Sayer welcomes you, dear listener. As you settle into your comfortable resting place, allow your mind to drift and your body to relax. Tonight, we embark on a gentle retelling of Batibat, a treasured story from Philippines' rich mythological tradition. Let the soft whispers of ancient wisdom carry you to a peaceful slumber. In the verdant mountains of the Philippine highlands, where folklore whispers through ancient trees and misty valleys cradle age-old secrets, there dwells a powerful spirit known as Batibat. The air here carries the sweet breath of mountain winds, tinged with the earthy scent of moss-covered stones and the delicate perfume of wild orchids that bloom in hidden corners. Our ancestors knew her as a formidable guardian of the forest, particularly of the mighty acacia and bolete trees that have stood watch over the islands for countless generations, their leaves whispering tales of times long past in the gentle evening breeze. In traditional telling, Batibat is one of the more fearsome spirits of Filipino mythology, known to visit those who disturb her wooden domain in the depths of night, sending strange dreams and keeping them still in their sleep. The old ones speak of her presence as subtle as shadow, yet as profound as the deepest roots of her ancient trees, their voices dropping to reverent whispers as they share her tales around evening fires. But like many ancient stories, there is deeper wisdom within these encounters, wisdom that flows like cool mountain streams through the heart of the forest. When we look closer, we see that Batibat's actions, though intimidating, speak of nature's need to protect itself and teach humans the importance of respect for the ancient forests that sustain us all, their branches reaching skyward like protecting arms over all who dwell beneath them. Picture yourself in a traditional Filipino village, where the air carries the sweet perfume of some pageant of flowers and the evening chorus of crickets creates nature's lullaby. The gentle rustle of bamboo leaves adds its whispered melody, while distant frogs contribute their soft evening song. Here, massive acacia trees spread their protective canopy over nipa hut homes, their branches reaching toward the pearl-white moon like gentle guardians of the night. The moonlight filters through the leaves, creating intricate patterns on the ground that dance with each passing breeze, like nature's own dreaming shadows. The village paths wind between the great trees, smooth from generations of bare feet passing over them. Small gardens flourish in the dappled shade, filled with herbs whose fragrant leaves release their soothing scents into the evening air. The sound of gentle streams mingles with the nighttime chorus, their waters catching moonlight like scattered diamonds as they flow past the sleeping village. Among these ancient trees stood one particularly magnificent acacia, its trunk wider than 3 people's embrace could encompass. Its bark held the texture of centuries, each ridge and groove telling stories of seasons past, like the wrinkled hands of a wise elder sharing ancient tales. Delicate ferns grew from the crooks of its massive branches, creating hanging gardens that swayed gently in the mountain breeze. This tree was home to Batibat, whose essence was as old as the forest itself. The villagers knew her presence through the strange stillness that would sometimes come over them in their dreams, a stillness our ancestors understood as Batibat's way of commanding attention when important lessons needed to be learned. In the village lived a young woodcutter named Mateo, whose family had fallen on hard times. His footsteps were heavy with worry as he walked the forest paths, the weight of responsibility bearing down on his shoulders like an invisible burden. One evening, desperate to provide for his ailing mother, he approached Batibat's ancient acacia with his axe in hand. The air grew thick with warning, a heaviness that spoke of ancient power and watchful eyes. The usual evening songs of the forest fell silent, leaving only the sound of his own heartbeat and the whisper of leaves above. That night, as Mateo slept on his bamboo mat, the cool night air drifting through the nipa walls of his home, Batibat came to him. The moonlight seemed to gather and take shape, like morning mist condensing into form. In traditional tellings, such visits were frightening encounters where the spirit would sit upon a person's chest, leaving them unable to move. But in our gentler understanding, we see this stillness as Batibat's way of ensuring our message would be heard, for how often do we humans rush about, failing to listen to nature's whispers? Unable to move, Mateo found himself in a dreamlike state where time flowed like honey, sweet and slow. Batibat's true form revealed itself, a figure both commanding and maternal, with eyes that held the wisdom of centuries and hair that floated like morning mist through the branches of her tree. Her presence brought with it the scent of earth after rain and the cool touch of forest shade. Her voice, though stern, carried notes of understanding, like the deep resonance of wind through hollow bamboo. Child of the village, she spoke, her words falling like heavy drops of evening dew, each syllable clear as crystal in the dream silence. I know your need, and I feel your mother's pain. But you must understand what you almost took from this forest. Through visions as vivid as sunrise, she showed Mateo the life of her tree, how its roots stretched deep into the earth, connecting with and nourishing younger trees throughout the forest, creating a vast network of life and memory beneath the soil. Each root pulsed with life force, glowing like gentle starlight in his dream sight. She revealed how its branches had sheltered generations of Mateo's own family, including his grandfather who, during a great storm, had found refuge beneath its canopy while lightning painted the sky in brilliant streaks. What seems like one tree to human eyes, Batibat explained, her voice harmonizing with the gentle night sounds, is part of an ancient web of life. When you approach with an axe, you do not merely threaten wood, you threaten memories, shelter, and lives countless as the stars. As she spoke, the air shimmered with floating lights, like fireflies dancing through her branches, each one representing a life touched by her ancient tree. Through the night, held gentle but firm in Batibat's dreamtime embrace, Mateo's consciousness drifted through the forest's memories. The air around him was thick with the sweet scent of ripening mangoes and the earthy aroma of fresh mushrooms pushing through rich soil. He learned of alternative ways to provide for his family, which fruits could be gathered sustainably in each season's turn, their flavors bursting with sun-ripened sweetness. She showed him which fallen branches might be collected for fuel, their wood already seasoned by time and weather. Through dream-touched visions, she taught him how to tend young trees, their tender leaves reaching toward filtered sunlight, ensuring the forest would remain bountiful for generations to come. In this space between sleeping and waking, Mateo felt the forest's rhythms become one with his own heartbeat. The gentle sway of branches overhead matched his breathing, while distant bird calls wove through his consciousness like threads of silver sound. Each lesson Batibat shared settled into his mind like seeds finding fertile soil, ready to grow into understanding. As dawn approached, painting the sky in delicate shades of rose and gold, Batibat gradually released her hold on Mateo. The morning mist crept through the village like her retreating presence, carrying with it the lingering scent of damp earth and fresh leaves. Some say this slow release is why people often feel they cannot move immediately upon waking from such dreams. It is the lingering touch of Batibat's lesson, ensuring her wisdom takes root in our minds, like morning dew seeping into thirsty ground. The next morning, as the first rays of sunlight filtered through the canopy, creating dappled patterns on the forest floor, Mateo found a cluster of healing herbs growing near the great acacia, Batibat's gift for his mother. Their leaves sparkled with morning dew, and their healing fragrance rose like a blessing in the cool morning air. He understood then that the forest would provide for those who approached with respect and understanding rather than desperate action, its generosity flowing as naturally as a spring from mountain stones. From that day forward, Mateo became a keeper of forest wisdom, his voice taking on the soothing qualities of rustling leaves as he shared his knowledge. Teaching others that what some called a frightening encounter with Batibat was actually an invitation to deeper understanding, he would walk with them through the forest paths, pointing out the signs of life and abundance that had always been there, waiting to be noticed. He explained how the stillness she brought, though unsettling at first, was like the quiet needed to hear a whispered truth, as peaceful as the moment before dawn when the world holds its breath. The great acacia still stands today, its branches reaching ever skyward, its roots delving deep into the earth. Those who pass by might feel a gentle heaviness in the air, not a threatening presence, but a reminder of Batibat's watchful care over the forest and those who dwell near it. The air around the tree is always a few degrees cooler, carrying the fresh scent of green growing things and the subtle sweetness of wild flowers that cluster at its base. As our tale draws to a close, feel yourself drifting peacefully, held in the same gentle stillness that Batibat uses to share her wisdom. Let the weight of her ancient knowledge settle over you like a comfortable blanket, soft and warm as forest moss. Even in stillness, we are learning, growing, and connecting to the timeless wisdom of the forest, our breathing matching the slow, steady rhythm of growing things. The night deepens now, and the forest breathes slowly, its rhythm matching your own. The darkness is soft and nurturing, like the shade beneath Batibat's branches on a warm afternoon. As you drift towards sleep, know that if you feel a gentle heaviness or strange stillness in your dreams, it might just be Batibat, sharing her ancient wisdom in the way she knows best. Through the quiet space between waking and dreams, where the forest song plays like a tender lullaby, carrying you into peaceful slumber.